of black mold soon.
Did you make any points for doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God, wasn't sure if that anybody noticed how I knew I was gonna cut the neck.
doesn't make any sense.
I was just so, I'm like,
You know what upset me? People have dishwashers that underwater, and they go, put the sweat there. Okay.
Oh, well.
Till those wires stop. You got all kinds of stuff.
That's what we do.
Plug it in. Okay.
Oh, it's time.
we're ready.
Mark, are you ready?
Have a city attorney?
Mark? Okay. I now call to order the special session meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs, Tuesday, September 7th, 2016, and the time is 6:30 p.m. Roll call.
Mayor LaHousas.
Here?
Vice Mayor Tarpon.
Here.
Commissioner Banther.
Here.
Commissioner Sieber.
Here.
Commissioner Slattery.
Here.
Yeah. This is just a reminder that the purpose of this meeting tonight is to get public input regarding the fiscal 2016-2017 budget. And our first item on the agenda is Resolution 2016-30, tentative adopting the millage rate for the tax year 2016. Mr. Herring,
Yes.
would you please review the procedures that is required by the state law?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Ron Herring, Finance Director. You know, the purpose of tonight's meeting is to approve the tentative millage rate and the tentative budget. It's all established by state statute 200.065. It started with the trim millage, the property values being certified back in July. Trim notices were mailed on August 22nd to the residents. We had our workshop on August 26th. And now we're required to have the first public hearing this September 7th to approve the tentative millage rate and budget. And part of that process is a tentative millage rate must be approved first as part of state requirements, and then the budget next. Discuss the percentage increase of the tentative millage rate over the budget, which is 4.43. I'm sorry, tentative millage rate over the rollback rate, which is 4.43%. And it is to be used for operating expenditures. And then we open it up now for public comment.
Before we go to that, I'd like to ask the city clerk to read the resolution.
Resolution 2016-30, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, tentatively adopting the millage rate for tax year 2016. Whereas a public hearing was held on September 7, 2016 at 6:30 p.m. to adopt a tentative millage rate. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, that 1, the ad valorem millage rate for tax year 2016 of the City of Tarpon Springs is hereby tentatively established at 5.4200, a 4.43% increase over the rollback rate of 5.1902. Number 2, the city staff is hereby directed to notify all pertinent governmental agencies of the provisions hereof as required by law. That is the reading of Resolution 2016-30 in its entirety.
Thank you. We are now go to the public comments on this item. Any commission comment? Shall entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Slattery?
Yes.
Commissioner Sieber,
Yes.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Tarapani?
Yes.
Mayor LaHousas?
Yes. Item number 2 is a resolution 2016-31. It's a tentative adopting the final budget fiscal year 2016-2017. And would you please read the resolution, Ms.
Resolution 2016-31, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, tentatively adopting the budget for fiscal year 2016-2017. Whereas a public hearing was held on September 7, 2016 at 6:30 p.m. to adopt a tentative budget. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, that 1, the City of Tarpon Springs annual budget for fiscal year 2016-2017 is hereby tentatively adopted. 2, the city staff is hereby directed to notify all pertinent governmental agencies of provisions hereof as required by law. That is the reading of Resolution 2016-31 in its entirety.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on this item?
Marty Peters, I'm Vice Chair of the Budget Advisory Committee. My address is 1702 Heritage Oaks Court in Tarpon Springs. I'm speaking as an individual tonight because the item I'm speaking on hasn't come before the Budget Advisory Committee yet, because we're going to discuss miscellaneous items tomorrow. It seems a little late since we're doing the budget at this point. But the miscellaneous item I would like to talk about, and unless it's ended already, and then you can stop me right away and I won't waste any more time, is the 50 grand that we spend to have an unarmed guard in front of the building here during the day. And it just seems like a waste of money to me. The city manager, when we discussed it at the Budget Advisory Committee before we got to the budget, didn't seem particularly enthusiastic about the idea of having that unarmed guard there. And the 50 grand we thought might be spent somewhere else, but we didn't take a decision on it because I personally would have liked to have discussed it at the before the budget and deal with it at that point. And it just seems to me that that 50 grand could be better used for some of the items that we can't quite afford at this point. When we talked about it earlier, the city manager was unable to cite a single example of a danger to staff, other than some people get yelled at it sometimes. I'm a retired teacher. When I was teaching, we got yelled at a lot. We even had some people come into the building with guns on occasion. And we dealt with that, but we didn't need to have an armed guard, and in this case, it's an unarmed guard. It would seem to me if we are living in such a dangerous community in Tarpon Springs, the logical thing would be to have that guard here tonight. And he's not here, because you would be the folks that person would be most interested in causing pain to, I would think, rather than the staff, which I think most people in Tarpon Springs are pretty happy with. So I would suggest that you take that, vote for the budget as it is, and then take that 50,000 afterwards and use it in a category where it could be more useful. My hunch is that staff, with that 50,000, if you put up a lottery and said 100 people would get $500, that on that lottery, my hunch is that their fear of somebody breaking into the building would quickly dissipate as they rush to sign up for the lottery. So I think we're not dangerous here. I think that money could be better used elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Here none. Are there any commission comments? I need a motion.
Move approval. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Slattery?
Yes.
Commissioner Sieber,
Yes.
Commissioner Banther?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Terapany?
Yes.
Mayor Alahouzes?
Yes. That concludes the special session, and it's adjourned at 6:38.
We good?
No, we still have another section here. We are now going to the Community Redevelopment Agency meeting, and I now call to order the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Tarpon Springs on Tuesday, September 7, 2016 at 6:39 p.m. Roll call, please.
Chair Alahouzes?
Yes.
Vice Chair Terapany?
Here.
Commissioner Banther?
Here.
Commissioner Sieber,
Yes.
Commissioner Slattery?
Here.
Item number 1 is Resolution 2016-02, tentative adopting the final budget for the fiscal year 2016-2017. Mr. Herron, would you please read the procedures that is required by the state law?
Yes, this also follows statute 200.065 that the CRA, which is convened as the board with the CRA, approves the tentative budget for the Community Redevelopment District.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution 2016-02, a resolution of the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, tentatively adopting the budget for fiscal year 2016-2017. Whereas a public hearing was held on September 7, 2016 at 6:30 p.m. to adopt the tentative budget. Now therefore be it resolved by the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Tarpon Springs, Florida, that Section 1, the Community Redevelopment Agency's annual budget for fiscal year 2016-2017 is hereby tentatively adopted. Section 2, the city staff is hereby directed to notify all pertinent governmental agencies of the provisions hereof as required by law. That is the reading of Resolution 2016-02 in its entirety.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on this item? Here none. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Are there any commission comments? None. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Slattery?
Yes.
Commissioner Sieber,
Yes.
Commissioner Panther?
Yes.
Vice Chair Terapany?
Yes.
Chair LaHousas?
Yes. Well, that concludes the agenda, and it's adjourned at 6:40. But before we leave, I'd like to take this opportunity and to thank our staff, Mr. Licouris, our finance department for doing a fine job, but also especially I would like to thank our budget advisory committee for their input and their hard work for having, so we can have an excellent budget this year. Thank you all very much for your work.
And don't leave before you sign these documents coming down.
To adjourn, Mayor?
Oh, yeah, when you move.
Yep.
This is what we should have put in the budget, was the chairs.
Did you beat it? Look how you put it better.
I don't know how many
Well, we still got time for that. That's
No,
more
he
of a-
adjourned.
That's more of a formal meeting.
Maybe the last budget meeting, we can get some new chairs put in the budget.
Good idea.
There's things I give up on.
We're gonna get some more.
Or seatbelt.
I was gonna say, I thought we were gonna get those.
What we talking about doing, we're gonna try to get a company that give us like 4 or 5 samples, have them here, and then you come in and try to go and try to come to a consensus.
I wanted to respond. To see, no, I can make this immaculate. Yeah. It doesn't mean
I almost said the plan was already set.
Massage?
Pull somebody away from the other thing, and we can't tell you the backup plan, but
After
when
these have been
when they bring
here
your attention to you, they're
28
gonna be in
years
for a
at least.
surprise,
So,
and our surprise
I
backup
think,
plan. But we don't reveal, and that's the one thing the public records law doesn't let you.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking the entire time. I was thinking the entire
I
time.
asked in 2010.
That's all I was thinking about.